So YouTube, yeah, they're all live. We're waiting on some subscribers coming in. I don't see anybody yet showing up. We can check our socials media to see. Uh, looking to see what's happening. I don't see anybody.
All right, y'all ready to start?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
It's working on YouTube. I've pulled it up.
Okay, good deal.
All right, well, good deal. We should be rolling. As you can tell, we're not tech savvy individuals, but what we make up or what we lack in tech savvy, we make up for in personality.
Absolutely, 100%.
Again, sorry how this goes. This is one of our first live sessions, if you will. So I guess we can just start with the official start. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Talking Quack and Smack with TC Duck Club. I'm Skylar Ray.
I'm Ryan Law.
I'm Keith Talbert, and our special guest.
Jim Ronquest with Drake Waterfowl. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Jim, before we get started, I would like to, I should say Mr. Ronquest, since you're the star, the man, the myth, the legend. But I
Plain old
really,
Jimbo. Look here. Let me get one thing straight. Just plain old Jimbo is just fine. We don't need no misters. Don't need none of all that stuff. Just plain old Jimbo, and we're good.
well, we appreciate you coming on first and foremost, and I would like to congratulate you on finding a good-looking hat to put on.
You're welcome, man. I thought I saw it sucker laying around on the ground. I thought I'd pick it up and put it on.
Well, that fits you just fine. It fits you just fine. But again, for those of you just tuning in, Mr. Jim Ronquest was nice enough to join us tonight. We've kind of been working on a project really since the summer. Didn't really know what direction it was going to go, but I think, as you can tell in the background of the video up top, we couldn't be more pleased with how it turned out.
Golly.
I mean, the bus and the boat has really kind of blown us away.
It turned out really good thanks to our partners over at Mossy Oak in West Point, Mississippi. They pulled one out of the air on that deal, and Tad Wilhelm, and all the crew that did all the paint and everything. My hat's off to them. They did a great job.
Well, we got to see it firsthand, and I don't know what I was expecting. I mean, we just good old country boys from little old small town Alabama here in center Alabama, but like I said, we pull up and these guys were in there working. It looked like you'd kick the top of an anthill.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were in there just stepping and fetching. But we've got those guys. I'd like to give their whole crew a shout out, if you will, if that's all right.
Knock it out. They deserve it.
Man, these guys knocked it out. Mr. Tad Wilhelm, and he told me to make sure I told everybody he is not a Yankee. I don't know, maybe he's not a Yankee fan or maybe he's just not from up north. But Mr. Tad's a super good guy. He's with CGE Stencils and Naughty Grip Decking. Brad Marburger with BSM Custom Camo. He secured the actual building that we were in because it takes quite a building to hold what we had in it. And then Tail Race Camo with Justin Keller and Official Smoking Quack with Reed Johnson. These guys have worked their rear end slap off. I mean, and it was unbelievable. Like, unbelievable what they done and in the amount of time they had to do it with. And
Not only did they work, we got there one night at 1:30 in the morning. They were working. We stayed 2 more days. They got there at 7, left at 1:30 or 2 every morning. Like, they done it.
it's unbelievable. I talked to Tad, the next day because, we were running on fumes. Of course, we've been riding in an air conditioned truck and they've been sitting in a paint booth all weekend. And we get there, of course, we're excited, and of course they were bright eyed and bushy tailed at 1:30 in the morning when we when we rolled into town and just spraying away, they didn't put the first drop of paint on that bus until Thursday. And
Afternoon.
Thursday afternoon, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and they had it completely sprayed, stickers on it, windows clean, blinkers wired back in, ready to hit the open road Sunday afternoon. And for that to happen, that is an act of Congress because it's 80 foot from the front bumper to the back of the boat to the prop, and it is.
Pretty dang impressive. Talking with Tad and crew leading up to that event, and all the work that they put into being ready and being prepared, so that when it all got there, they could fly into working on it, and they fly into working on it is what they did.
Well, Brad Marburger was actually from the area, and he's with BSM underscore custom underscore camo. I'm still learning all this social media lingo, but Brad, like I said, secured the building, and he had the bus sanded, prep, boat, broke down, everything ready to go, and these guys, they were. It was like tail race camo, son. That's a good name for it.
And plus, Tad flew his daughter in from North Carolina or South Carolina, wherever their home base is, to shoot photos and video. So,
Absolutely.
man, that's fantastic right there. The effort they put into making this whole deal right is fantastic.
Well, I actually just got off the phone with Mr. Tad as I was pulling up here to Key's house or to his shop, and man, like I said, I have nothing but respect for those guys. I don't envy them because boy, they sure did work hard, and they put in a lot of hours. But like I said, they blew us away. I thought it would just be like, camouflage. I didn't know there was that many details. Every step has a process, and the stencils have so much detail from 15, 20 feet away. It really just looks like you've just stretched a real tight T-shirt over it. Like you can't tell that everything was just custom painted. Like I don't know. I'm not a painter.
Well, everybody told me, and of course, me being, at the community college, we've got a paint and body shop at our school, and the guy said they wrapped it. I said, no, you didn't hear me. They painted it.
Oh,
They mixing paint and paint guns and air compressors and air hoses and everything under the sun. They painted it. This is not a wrap. It ain't gonna peel and get scratched and all this, that, and another. This is just pure hard work, just elbows and sandpaper. I'm talking
They only
about.
had to paint it 8 times, I think, a base coat instead of stencils.
Yeah, it's and the paint just nothing wrong with wraps, but paint just gives it that much more deeper look. If you was to take all those orange logos off of it and go park it in the woods at a distance, it's kind of like why the elephant hides so well. That sucker would disappear.
Absolutely. You talking about a shooting house?
That would be
yeah.
Hey, you boys being from Alabama, you didn't put none of them raised up and down windows in it with that automatic elevation now, did you?
Well, we were actually driving back, and Ryan said, "Oh, look! There's a bunch of geese lighting in that field." And we get up there, and it's a pond. And I said, "Look, man, we need to just drive this thing over there in the woods and put some mud tires on the back of it, drive it up in the woods, and just hunt out of it." And he said, "Well, how are we going to let these windows down?" I said, "With a brick."
Works every time. Works
One
every
brick,
time.
one brick would get them windows out. I think that would mess up our spelling, but with us being from small town, rural Alabama, I think people would understand maybe us misspelling something.
I believe you'd have forgiveness from the very get go.
But man, like I said, it's just been such an honor, getting to even talk to you, much less have a chance to be a part of the Drake Mossy Oak family and to meet guys that are so hardworking and upstanding. These guys didn't owe us nothing, just like you and Mossy Oak and all of our other sponsors didn't owe us anything. And I'm still trying to kind of wrap my brain around it, and it's been kicked around here in this shop and over at my house, and just in conversation on the telephone. I ain't real sure what three fat guys with gray hair and horrible eating habits bring to the table when you deal with names like Drake, Mossy Oak, and so many others. But man, I can't tell you how honored we are to be a part, and hopefully we can, do you a good job. We'll at least try.
Well, we're glad to have you. I think everything's going to go well. We're going to make a lot of new friends and just move everything forward. All ships sail on a rising tide, and hopefully the tide is rising, fellas.
Well, I think it's safe to say that Drake's making big moves in the waterfowl industry, not just um, with the bus, but with the new line of stuff that they've got coming out. And everybody can make waders, everybody can make jackets. But the people that I've met, and I haven't met everybody, but the people that I've met, speaking from experience, the folks at Drake really care about the sport of duck hunting and the community that represents it, and that's what it's about with us. And man, I couldn't tell you how pumped I am to be a part of it.
Well, absolutely. Like I said, we're proud to have you. As far as Drake goes, I'm a duck hunter. All the people that's got their hands on things are duck hunters, and that's who we want to be, and that's where we're going. Ducks, turkeys, deer, everything we like to do, you like to do, and that's kind of what makes us tick. And like to be around like-minded people, and just trying to spread the word. Just trying to get the word out there that, hey, guys, give us a shot, check us out, look at the new stuff we've got, look at the changes we made in the brand and the products that we're bringing to the market. And I think you'll be proud to check them out.
Well, like I said, I think you'd have to live under a rock not to know who Drake waterfowl is at this point. We're having a little technical difficulties at this point in time. Hold on.
Yeah, it sounds like y'all had in a dance hall somewhere when I'm hearing in the background.
My monitor kicked off, and hang on just a second.
Our tech guy again.
Man, do it.
I tell everybody there's a country song for every situation, Mr. Jim. And that,
of course, there is.
That particular situation, or this particular situation, reminds me of the country song "Life's a Dance, You Learn as You Go."
That's right.
So, like I said, I think you'd have to live under a rock not to know who Drake Waterfowl Mossy Oak is. Right. And with that being said, I think you'd have to live under a rock not to know who Jim Ronquest and Toxie Hayes is.
That's exactly right. And I'm gonna respect your wishes, Jimbo. I'm gonna call you Jimbo because that's what you said to do. But to be in the same sentence or to be able to communicate with the Jim Ronquest, and when we're sitting there talking with Tad and he's on the phone with Daniel Hayes, and being a kid from the '80s, I know. I've heard of Toxie Hayes all my life, so just to be in the same sentence with that we're associated with these two companies is just something spectacular for us.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm glad you're excited, but I'm afraid you may have me confused with somebody else. You ever get the chance to meet Daniel, Neil, or Toxie, you'll realize that they are all much the same way. Just good people that worked hard, tried to make it work, and dealt with all the sacrifices to get to where they are today. You take some ups and downs, and at the end of it, as long as you keep saddling back up, you'll get somewhere. So but I do appreciate y'all's kind words. Thank you.
Well, my daddy introduced me to duck hunting. I was born in '77, so I'll tell my age. I was born in '77. My daddy introduced me to duck hunting here on Weiss Lake when I was young. I was little. I was 7, 8 years old, and this was before duck hunting was cool in Alabama. In Arkansas, y'all had plenty of ducks, but I can remember a time when we never did have any Canadian geese. A Canadian goose somebody killed a goose during duck season. It was like, oh my God, did you hear? I mean, it was like shooting a 12-point buck here.
Yeah, it made the local newspaper.
It
Yeah.
made the local newspaper. Exactly. Now all these people that owns these lake houses wished you could shoot them out of season. Without going to jail, and they'd pay
I
you
get it.
fines for you too because how the mess that they make. And of course, we got that early September goose season coming up. It's on the calendar. We can take care of a few for them. But anyway, but we grew up watching the outdoors programs and stuff, and seeing you guys on the TV, and I mean it's just been to be this close to you guys, and being having that part of the in our world now is a blessing and an honor too.
Well, hey, look here, partner. It's all good, and there's more to come down the road. There's more we'll be able to get to do. Without all that stuff, I got to ask this. I know y'all got the bus and the boat out here earlier in the summer, and we was getting all this stuff lined up and ready to go, and moved it around. I gotta ask. This is 80 foot of traveling stuff. Bus, a 26-foot duckwater boat. I know it's aluminum, but it can't be light. So what's it like going down the road in this rig? And what's it like going down the road in this rig? I'll get to them other questions later.
Well, the bus kind of solved quite a few problems for me and created some. So the short answer is actually really comfortable. We gutted the inside of it and kind of made a RV out of half of it, out of the front part, because our F-250 or our Duramax or whatever truck we were going to be traveling in, depending on who was taking their truck that year, we'd have to buy a camper shell and put all of our stuff in. Well, when we bought the camper shell, it's back there with the dogs and this and that. It's actually a lot more comfortable because there's something to be said when you're driving 3,500 miles across the country diagonally up and down back roads looking for ducks, and you're gone for 25, 30 days at a time. It's actually a lot more comfortable in the bus as far as a passenger. Now, you got to be wound pretty tight to sit there and sit behind the wheel because, like you said, it's 80 foot.
No, you just put her in the left lane, kick back, and let her eat, baby.
Ryan's a little more laid back and a little more experienced driving big vehicles like this, but it's not bad. It's really not. The boat is on a load right trailer, which are great trailers, which is really kind of standard on a duckwater boat, and it follows the bus pretty well. And the big mirrors, that kind of stick off the side, you can see the boat. You can kind of see pretty much everywhere. And believe it or not, there's less of a blind spot because all the glass on the boat or all the glass on the bus than there is in the truck.
You can see. Yeah, I get that. I wonder sometimes from. Go ahead, Ryan.
We're good.
Oh, we're good.
We're good. Yeah.
No, one of the things I wondered about, as long as it is, I pull trailers a lot myself. Don't claim to be no big truck driver, but I've been around some of that. The hitch point, like on a big truck, is further forward. So you got a bumper pull boat trailer at the end of 36 feet, something like that. So when you go to turn, you got to be thinking a whole lot about what's coming behind you when you like pulling into a gas station or something. You got to be thinking ahead. I reckon is what I'm getting at. How's all that work?
Believe it or not, that trailer actually follows the boat a lot closer to the tracks than you think it does because the bus has got the tail swing when you turn. I was actually impressed at how well it followed it.
Interesting.
It's not as bad as now. It's still tight. You're right. When you can't just pull in the mom and pop 7-Eleven, but it actually tracks very, very good behind the bus.
Interesting. I would have thought it'd been a royal headache getting in and out of places. So as far as going down the road, I mean, what it run? 50 mile an hour going down the interstate, or what can you do?
You can get up 70, 75 miles an hour, pulling the rig, and that's pretty well loaded. I mean, we've got kitchen, bathroom, shower, uh, dog kennels, gun safe, couches, air conditioners.
Yeah, air
So-
conditioners is always important.
Air conditioning, 4-wheel drive, and Coca-Cola is right up there with some of the greatest inventions ever.
Amen.
We love those things, so we didn't leave those out. But like I said, you can run the speed limit. I mean, you're not gonna set the speed record, but you're making tracks. I mean, you can keep up with MapQuest pretty well on the interstate, if you will. It's not as fast accelerating, of course, but it's not a.
Ryan said he told me yesterday he was able to hold the cruise on about 68. In other words, the cruise would hold at about 68 going up and down those hills coming up and down 22. He said, now when you go up the hills, he said there is a slight decrease in speed.
Yeah, well-
He said he goes down to about 45 pretty quick.
And this may be this may not win us any friends if somebody out there's part of the Go Green initiative, but
Yeah.
when you're going up a hill and you drop a gear, that cat diesel engine blows black smoke everywhere. So we love that part of it. We like to roll a little coal coming
Yeah.
down the highway.
It probably goes to clanking pretty good too. Them old cats get to rattling good. You get to codding on them like that. That's pretty
That
good.
turbo kicks in, it lets you know it's coming.
That's right. Well, that's pretty cool.
As far as I would assume your next question would be, why the bus? And that answer is his fault. That's his fault because he called.
Everybody's got to be guilty of something.
He called, and I told you it cured a lot of problems. So comfortable, being able to get up and kind of stretch your legs going down the road, and having everybody, just take one vehicle. That it does. But when I parked it in my driveway, that created a whole nother set of problems. So me and Ryan and Keith had to convince my wife that it was a good idea. And boy, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you helping me with that because I was in the doghouse, wasn't I, Ryan?
For a day or two.
He was deep.
I was in a little bit.
His
of the
wife's
doghouse.
not real big, but where she ain't big in size, she's big in attitude. So
Yeah.
She made up the difference.
Yes, sir.
But we
Well,
have. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it appears y'all have it all worked out anyway.
Well, the Lord works in strange ways, and I didn't know until 5 minutes after Keith called me that we were going to buy a bus because I'm the one that has actually said I don't know why anybody would buy a camper. I just sleep in a hotel room. I mean, you can buy a lot of campers for what it costs to drive a camper, or you can buy a lot of hotel rooms for what it costs to buy a camper. And now here I am, and that brings me to my next point. If you're driving and taking two boats, obviously anything can happen, especially on big water. And, we have had accidents before, minor mechanical breakdowns, whatever. Nothing major, thank goodness. But it does solve an issue as far as, having to take two trucks. You're probably getting at the most 10 miles a gallon pulling, these big boats loaded across the country. You're probably getting 9-10 miles a gallon, wouldn't you say, on average? And then two boats, that it solves a lot of problems because now, the boat probably, the bus probably gets what, 9-8 miles a gallon, something like that, 8-9 miles a gallon.
It's not what my Camry gets, but it's
Right. But it's hard for us three to get in the Camry.
oh yeah,
But-
it's like a can of canned biscuits when you open the door.
And with that being said, not only it's actually, in my opinion, we're going to be safer now driving across the country because used to we'd get up, 4 or 5 o'clock, somebody drive 6-7 hours, the next guy would drive. Well, when you're crammed in the back, 5 deep, grown men, 3 in the back seat, 2 in the front. When it's your turn to drive, you're still tired. Now you can lay over on the couch, get you a nap. When it's Skylar's turn to drive, when it's Keith's turn to drive, he'll be
But Jim, I got a video you're gonna love, and I'll get it to you.
I can't wait to see it.
Oh,
So,
there's only 2 people at this table knows about it, and he's not
oh,
one of them.
even better. So tell me about how y'all got the bus fixed up on the inside. I hear you talking about gun safes and bunk beds and couches and air conditioning. So how is it set up? So we're traveling. Say y'all are going. Would you tell me when I was there back in the summer, y'all went to Idaho or some such place from Alabama? So you're taking a cross country trip. Somebody's got to take a nap because I've always said this: if you're making a trip to Canada, one person needs to get in the truck that has been up all night drinking. That the first thing he wants to do is go to sleep as soon as you get on the road. That way, you're going to have somebody being fresh. So, how do y'all go about that, and what do y'all have set up for that in the bus?
Well, as soon as you go in the front door and up top, you can see the, layout of the outside of the bus. So both of those doors kind of open up like French doors, if you will, and a handicap ramp is built into the steps. That was in there, and it was just luck of the draw. And we left it because of the Troy Ellis Foundation and Kids Outdoors. So when you come up the steps, the driver's seat is right in front of you. And then we've got couches down both walls that fold out into like sleeper sofas. And then going down the aisle between the 2 couches, you've got a TV and surround sound there on the left. And then you've got your kitchen on the wall on the right behind the couches.
And the walls are offset. So the kitchen wall is here, and the TV wall is closer to the front of the bus. So there's a turn to go to the back of the bus right there. It just kind of helps break some stuff up, makes it easier to cool the front half of the bus and everything with the air conditioning.
So let's now go back outside of the boat, if you will. Like, you can ruin a pickup truck getting mud from Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, or really anywhere in the cab of your truck. And nobody knows that better than me and the people that now own the trucks that we've done that in, because we have to trade them. But like I said, if you look on the back deck, is what we call it, the platform that is attached to the boat or attached to the bus that hooks onto the trailer hitch. What we've got in mind is coming in the back of the boat or coming in the back door of the bus. And when you walk in there, you have your bathroom and your luggage closet in the back of the bus. And then there's a partition wall that houses your water heater, your water sources that for the kitchen and the toiletries. And then on that wall, we've got an American flag kind of hung up and framed up and hooks above it where we can hang our waders and jackets. And then on the far wall, on the passenger side of the bus, is where the gunner kennel is and where the gun safe is. And then you can just walk in through the kitchen after you change your clothes. And the theory behind that is to keep all of the mud and debris and wetness out of the living spaces, if you will, in the bus. That way, if we want to go and eat at a restaurant or, take it to a show or a meet and greet, if you will, you don't have to go in and just do a deep clean on the entire bus, before you go.
You left out one of the key facts of the whole deal: the refrigerator / freezer that you put in it. Tell them a little bit about that.
So we all take coolers with us when we go, and you have to have some way to hold your drinks and snacks. I mean, it's a long way, and 3 o'clock in the morning, in certain places, there's nothing open. So if you get hungry at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're just hungry till McDonald's or a service station's open. So we've got a mini fridge, wine fridge, that serves for my wife's entertainment and babysitter, and all of our Powerade, Coke, and other drinks that we have in the mini fridge up front. But in the back, like as soon as you come in the back door, there is a full size refrigerator that doubles as a deep freeze. So it can be either or. And the reason for that is a couple years ago, we DIY'd the Harlequin hunt in Washington State, back when it was still one per person per year. And we froze the birds at the Airbnb that we had. But by the time we froze those birds, even though we iced them down, some of the feathers were turning loose, and two of the guys that went with us lost their mounts because we were unable to freeze those birds, and keep them frozen on the way back. And one thing that we all like about the refrigerator slash freezer, it's a stand-up freezer, so everybody can put their birds in, prep them, and we can keep them kind of organized, if you will, and more importantly, we can keep them frozen no matter how long we're gone. We can keep the birds intact.
That's a cool deal, man. Sounds fun.
We've done a
So,
lot of thinking. A lot of it was drawn up on napkins and scratch paper, and we should have done it in pencil instead of our crayon, instead of ink pen, because Lord, we drew that thing up as many ways as possible, just trying to meet as many of those needs, that a duck hunter is going to have when you're driving across the map, chasing waterfowl or going to shows or whatever. But we're very excited to, I guess, get to go somewhere in it. We're all planning to go out to eat party with our wives, in the bus for this upcoming weekend. So hopefully, somebody listening will kind of hear it and spread the word. I don't really know where we're going, so everybody just be on the lookout. And like Ryan said, we're pretty safe in there because everybody can see it going down the road.
Everybody will stop.
no, yeah, no doubt. If they say, "Man, we didn't see you coming," they had their eyes closed
Well,
for sure.
they do have plausible deniability because it is camouflaged really, really well.
Yeah, but all them big orange stickers and logos kind of jump out at you pretty good. So you can't see that sucker coming. You in bad shape. So I'm assuming on a big trip that somebody else has come along with a pickup though. If you got to go scout and get places and up and down muddy roads, I mean, I can't imagine that sucker being good in tight spots.
Well, we do have another boat, and we're going to be following the TC Duck Club waterfowl wagon is the best we can come up with. I know it sounds kind of corny, and I'll get to that in a minute, but we do have another truck and boat rig that is going to follow us up the East Coast this year on the East Coast trip, and as well as a group from the Great Lakes that are going to come over, or they're not going with us. They're just going to happen to be there at the same time, and it's guys that we've met at a boat ramp in the duck hunting community. And so we will have some pretty handy guys. And Ryan can turn wrenches. Ryan can crank that desk you're sitting on, or sitting behind in about 30 minutes. I mean, Ryan can fix anything.
That's awesome. So speaking of all that, where is the first shakedown cruise of the year?
Well, we hadn't got that far. I don't know. I don't know where we're gonna go in it first. Like I said, we've been in talk with our boss ladies, and we want to kind of make the maiden voyage, just kind of a little special, and take our family somewhere in it and go out and eat, and just go in it. We've been kind of working on it and turning wrenches on it and fixing on it and waiting around, and now that we can actually be proud of it, and it doesn't say Pine Grove Baptist Church down the side of it anymore, we're going to get it out and stretch their legs. We're thinking probably Chattanooga or Birmingham this weekend.
Cool.
Not real sure where we're going to go after that, but we've got a lot of things on the docket. Everybody that's listening, we want you to go to tcduckclub.com and check out our website. And on that website, we have the Alabama to Alaska sweepstakes. And we're giving hunts away, trying to help, raise money and awareness for the Troy Ellis Foundation and Kids Outdoors. And And like I said, we're going to be raffling off these hunts, and we have a 2-man mallard hunt in Kansas that we're going to be giving away, drawing, if you will, at the dove hunt that we're hosting here at TC Duck Club. Of course, we done that drawing at the Ducks Unlimited Expo, but Kansas, we got.
That's the first hunt we'll probably drive it on or take it on will be the November Kansas hunt.
Absolutely, and we're there. Then we're going to the Great Lakes at some point in time. I've got a really good source up in Kansas with Michigan Layout Addicts, and Brandon's one of the best duck hunters I've ever been around, and he's kind of got a beacon, if you will, on all the waterfowl on all the Great Lakes. I mean, he knows exactly where the X is, and he's nice enough to put us on it, and we return the favor. Once our season goes out, he comes down here and goes with us. But we're planning Kansas, Michigan, and then of course the Great Lakes trip. And for anybody that don't know, we're going to be driving up the East Coast, starting in Massachusetts, coming down, and ultimately ending up on Long Island, where we'll be hunting sea ducks and divers and brant geese, and then driving to the Statue of Liberty on New Year's Day. And we're going to draw the grand prize in front of the Statue of Liberty. And that prize is kind of a joint venture, if you will, a joint grand prize. You think a grand prize, it's like one winner, one prize. And we live under the motto that moderation's for cowards. That's my dad's verbiage and quote. So we got in touch with Captain Charlie at Aleutian Islands Outfitters, and he's going to be hosting the Alaskan version of the grand prize with Will Mosley, the country music singer from down around Georgia, and he'll be going on a king otter hunt on Island X with Captain Charlie for one set of winners, and then the other one that we draw in front of the Statue of Liberty will be going with country music singer Sam Hunt. So we're very excited to be able to offer something like this, especially now that you guys have jumped on board. It just makes it that much more special.
Well, we're glad to be a part. With all that said, we had a little deal going the other day when you was driving home from Delaplane to Center, one thriving metropolis to another, Delaplane, Arkansas to Center, Alabama. I'm going to say Center was the big town in that project. But we had a little deal going to where if you saw them going down the road and made a post and tagged us, tagged TC Duck Club, tagged Mossy Oak, there'd be some prizes involved. We're going to figure out who them folks are. And on behalf of Drake Waterfowl, TC Duck Club, and some other sponsors, we're going to have some pretty fun gifts heading y'all's way. So
we did, and I can't tell you how creative some of these guys have got. It's fun to kind of read the comments and see all the support, and I can't tell you how much we appreciate the support of everybody that follows us and shares it and likes it and comments and taking the time out of their day to help kind of make this special for us, because we work really hard trying to put this together for everybody that is interested and everybody that partakes. But Chase Balance, I think I'm saying the last name correct, was the first actual picture that we got, and it was actually in the Walmart parking lot right down the street there in Pocahontas from where the boat and bus was painted by Reed and Justin and Tad and Brad. And he posted the picture, and then Grant Richards comes in and kind of screenshots and manipulates his picture to make sure it looks like his own picture. And they got into a texting battle there on TikTok, and then on Instagram and Facebook, the video on Facebook of it coming down the back road here in Alabama, a guy named Corey McLean from Collinsville, which is where I teach and coach. Corey got a really good video of the bus and the boat coming by there in town. So we had some videos, but it's kind of hard to get a picture and a video with a bus going 70 miles an hour down the interstate because it's kind of here, there, and gone. But, like I said, we had tons of comments and tons of views and likes and shares and everything. But the one that kind of got my attention the most is Braxton with a Drake Mallard emoji. And which one is the camera?
This one.
This one's the camera that they can see. So if you can see the comment, or if you care to go to the TC Duck Club TikTok page, Braxton saw our post and was unable to capture an actual image. And Braxton probably took the most time out of anybody and AI'd a actual charter
Show
bus.
it to this one over here where Jim can see it.
Take it up there.
I got to pull it up on YouTube.
It's on. Okay. I'll just screenshot it and send it to you.
Yeah, there you go. Even better.
He he actually, and he got it really, really, really close.
It just doesn't have the boat behind it.
It just doesn't have the boat behind it. But I mean, right down to
And
the
the
letter
Drake
and down
logo's
the
on the
side.
back's not really in the right spot.
Oh, dang. I just got, holy smokes, that looks good.
Braxton with a duck really went above and beyond. Even though it's not the actual bus, he went above and beyond. Hold that up there to that camera.
That looks good.
He went above and beyond to make sure he got entered into the contest. And like we say as students, or like my students say now, or like I said when I was a student, the old saying goes, "If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying." So he made dang
He
sure
put some effort into that.
Yeah,
he missed a few logos here and there on the back, no doubt, but he got the important ones.
Yeah, he got the gist of it anyway. He done a lot better job than I could have done.
Yeah, it looks good.
But we'll make sure we get some gear out to all those guys that were able
you get all their contact information and get back with me, and we'll have something nice for each one of them folks. How's that sound?
That
sounds awesome.
Save Corey's prize and swap it out on a tow call or something.
Yeah, Corey McLean with McLean's Record Service. They're great folks, and Collinsville's a little small town, kind of like Pocahontas, Arkansas, and everybody knows each other. If you want to find somebody, just come to the local sporting event at the high school. That's the town where I coach, and they're tough kids, respectful kids, raised by good folks, and I can't say enough of good stuff about Collinsville. They've treated me and my family just like family. I mean, they welcomed us in with open arms, and like I said, Corey lives there, and it's not every day you see 80 foot of fun coming down the highway. But
no doubt.
With that being said, with your permission, I'd like to ask you a couple questions about your truck, if you don't care, if you got time.
No, man. Yeah, I'm good, bud.
So, Mr. Jim was kind of the inspiration behind the bus and kind of got me out of the doghouse, because when he showed up for the skeet shoot, we had plans to have the bus painted to match the boat. And the people at Duckwater Boat, Steve Hoover and crew, they had already kind of talked about it. And then, me and Mr. Jim talked, and we had the chance to go with Mossy Oak and Drake. And I called Steve and talked to him about it. And like I said, the boat will always be a Duckwater boat, no matter what paint job's on it. And he was okay with it and gave us his blessing. And we were okay to go with Mossy Oak, and that's turned out to be awesome. But I wanted the Duckwater boat to match Darla, which is your pickup truck. So how did that happen? I mean, that's America's favorite pickup truck. So,
man, Dart is just a cool old ride. I've always been kind of a old truck geek. Used to race mud run trucks and stuff. And Dart is cool because where she come from. She's 85 Chevrolet military version K3500, which makes it, coming from the factory, was a ton and a quarter. Dana 60 front end, GM 14 bolt rear end, 456s front and rear, Detroit locker in each end. Just really cool stuff. But big thing is they were shipped with a 6.2 diesel, which the old GM 6.2 diesels were kind of sluggish, if you will. So we knew we was going to do a truck project with Drake, and I naturally raised my hand for it because it's kind of some stuff I like. And I'm sitting here one night knowing our budget, and it's a Friday evening, and I'm flipping through all the internet used truck stuff, and I kind of know the budget. I know what I'm looking for. Had a few different trucks that I would be interested in. I see this one pop up, and I see the seller's got like 4 or 5 stars. And, see, it's kind of what I want. Looking at all the pictures, it looked good, and the price was within our budget. And a couple other people had bid on it, then had the buy now price. I thought, man, the buy now price would work. I said, man, I ain't never done this before. I don't know how bad they can screw me. But let's find out. Maybe I can stop it before it gets too bad. So I just hit the old buy now button, and I just waited for the rest. We come up on the thing sold. So I said, well, I guess I bought a truck. So I talked to the old boy and wound up the fellow we bought it from. It runs a whole country mechanic shop in West Indiana. I said, man, this is cool. So my nephew lives up that way, and I talked him into going to look at it. He said, man, Unc, it's in good shape. It looks good to me. Long story short, it was. And the motor, the old diesel been swapped out with a big block Chevrolet motor. Somebody put the Holly Sniper fuel injection system on it, and then got it here. And I took it to our buddies up at D&W Outdoors in Jonesboro, and we kind of figured out what we wanted to do with it. We wanted to get it where it articulate again some. It got a custom-made flatbed on it, and it's set up for duck hunting. Raised it up a little bit. Got some 38.5 swamper boggers. We're still dialing it in, getting it right, but man, it's a cool truck, and it's also painted mossy oak tree stand. So one of the things that I have in mind at some point in time between now and the middle of February is we're going to have that big duckwater boat hooked to the back of Darla, and we're going to be putting it in the water somewhere. I ain't sure yet, but we're going to be putting it in the water somewhere. And I think I know where we're going to do it, and it'll be an adventure. May have to use all 3 winches on Darla to get this whole project done, but it will be an adventure.
Well, I absolutely can't wait for that. And we're excited to go anywhere. All you got to do is call us, and it takes about 0.3 of a second for us to be ready to go. I mean,
I have kind of seen that about y'all. Y'all ain't afraid to drive all night. Y'all ain't afraid of any of that stuff. I have kind of seen that.
Not driving all night. Me and Ryan ain't.
Well, this is right here now. He can drive all night long.
Me and Skyler, me and Ryan's gonna occupy them 2 couches.
but
Hey, I'm over 45, Mr. Jim. I've done crossed that big hurdle, or one of that big hurdles, whatever, and so when it gets close to 8:30, 9 o'clock, I done worked all them third shifts and swing shifts.
Keith,
I intend to work, cowboy.
Keith, I'm kind of right there with you. I have been on them all night driving sessions. Yeah. I can remember a couple of times leaving Stuttgart, going to Consort, Alberta, which I think was about 48, 49 hours one way. And when you see the sun set and come up twice on a road trip, and you ain't done nothing to stop for fuel and bad gas station food, that's too much time in a pickup. I'm kind of past all that driving all night. Hurry up and get there shit. I'm kind of, let's make a good lick, stop, spend the night, have a good supper, have a drink. We'll get up early and go again in the morning. I'm kind of right there with you.
Yes, sir.
Well, like I said, we're ready to go, and we don't care where. I mean, whether, like I told you the other day, whether it's Wisconsin or Walmart, we just want to go. I mean, we just want to get in the truck and go.
I got to give a big shout out. You brought it up, so I'm going to echo what you said there. At D&W, we had time to kill while we were up there waiting on the bus, and so we just decided to go do us a little excursion.
And y'all rode down to D&W.
We went down to Jonesboro and went down to D&W, and they had Arkansas had the sales tax holiday this past weekend on the outdoor.
Oh, you got in on the no sales tax deal. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And good gracious, at the Drake waterfowl stuff that cruise got. I mean, it
They
was
got it.
wall to wall.
They had it all.
Hey, we got to see all the blind bags, the backpacks, the gun cases, all the camo clothing that you could want, the gloves, the hats, the boggins, the beanies, the whatever. I mean, DNW had it all, man.
They got it all for sure. As a matter of fact, I think now they may be the biggest Drake dealer in the state, and that's a pretty big statement. At least as far as independents go, let me rephrase that. As far as independent dealers go, they may be the biggest in the state nowadays.
Well, that's good.
Well, my next question for you along the same lines of the truck, and kind of what I want to do since we've got you on the air here, maybe engage through another video. But with your blessing, you named your truck Darla. You want to expand on that a little bit?
Y'all ever watch the Little Rascals? You know, and I think it was Alfalfa had a crush on Darla, and he wrote this note and said, Darla, how's it go? I hate your stinking guts. You are the something the screws between my toes. And he just goes on and on. He didn't mean none of it. And then we kind of come up with the phrase here, said, well, damn it, Darla. And Darla just come on to be Darla. Matter of fact, if I'd had a female lab puppy, I'd have named it Darla. It just kind of hit. So Darla the duck truck, Darla the Drake duck truck just kind of fits. You know what I mean? It just kind of fits. So we proud of old Darla. The old girl's pretty thirsty, but if you point her and cod on her a little bit, she'll go straight. I promise.
Yeah, it's with your choice of verbiage and the English language, I feel pretty certain that if you ever come up homeless, you'd find a home right here in Cherokee County, Alabama. Yeah,
I'll find somewhere to sleep anyway. Yes, sir.
With your blessing, I would like to open this naming session up online, if you will, and let everybody that listens and follows along and anybody that's interested, I would like to kind of open it up. And I understand we're kind of opening ourselves up and making ourselves a little vulnerable to maybe some of the haters out there. But I don't see how you could not like Mossy Oak and Jim Ronquest and Drake Waterfowl. So with that being said, if we got your blessing, I'd kind of like to make a post here in the coming days and let anybody that's following Drake and Mossy Oak and TC Duck Club kind of name the bus, if you will.
There you go. Sounds good by me.
Well, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
We'll find out.
We've all agreed.
Well, hey,
we got Ryan's blessing.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. If you don't like it, you can always pretend you didn't hear it and name him something else.
That one didn't come through. Sorry about that.
Yeah, just turn a
That's
blind
right.
eye to it. Turn a blind eye to it. But like I said, we ain't gonna take up any more of your time. I sure do appreciate you.
Oh, you good?
Jumping on here with us, and like I said, it's an absolute honor to work with fine folks like you and Drake Waterfowl and Mossy Oak and so many other sponsors there on the screen. But
this was our first live stream event
ever
with as a full podcast. I know we had a special guest on the other day, but that was just for a blurb, and we're gonna get to do a good set down with him at the Dove Shoot. But still, I appreciate you too, Mr. Jim and Jimbo. I appreciate you. I mean, this has been a lot of fun. This has been a good time, and you're always welcome here. If Skyler won't let you stay with him, I got a room too.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I thank you too, sir.
You bet, man. Hey, I enjoyed it, fellas.
I guess that'll just about do it. And like I said, thank you so much. And if you have anything that we can help you out with, we're always here. So, Wisconsin,
you bet.
We just want to go.
Make sure we get them folks contact info so we can get them something.
I sure will.
And we'll go from there. Man, I've enjoyed it, fellas. It's been fun going live. And after you push the button to go unlive, hang on just a minute. You got a little something else.
Wrap us up, Skyler.
All right. Well, that will just about do it for another episode of Talking Quack and Smack with TC Duck Club.
I'm Keith Talbert.
I'm Ryan Law.
I'm Jimbo.
He's the one that you tuned in for.
Absolutely.
We're just here. But anyway, thanks again to Mr. Jim Ronquest. And before we go, I'd like to give another special thanks to official Talking excuse me, even though we're live.
Cut next.
Cut and
now.
go. Before we get off of here, another special thanks goes out to official Smoking Quack with Reed Johnson, Tail Race Camo with Justin Keller, CGE Stencils and Naughty Grip Decking with Mr. Tad Wilhelm, BSM Custom Camo, Brad Marburger, Mossy Oak, Drake Waterfowl, Mr. Jim Ronquest, and all of our sponsors there on the screen, and anybody else that's helped us in any way. I can't tell you how impressed we are with the support and the help.
I got one thing that we forgot to talk about, and this won't take but a second. Go on to tcduckclub.com, sign up for the rubber duck race to help support our kids outdoors. That's coming up September the 20th. You don't have to be present to win. $10 to sponsor a duck, and this is going for a super awesome cause with Rick and Carol Clark. With they're the founders of Kids Outdoors. I needed to throw that in there before we hung it up.
That's good stuff. Say more about it if you will. I mean, where it come from, what it does. I mean, it sounds like a good program right there.
It's awesome.
My favorite thing about Kids Outdoors, nobody at Kids Outdoors draws a paycheck. So every dollar that comes into Kids Outdoors goes right to those kids, helping make their dreams a reality. And we couldn't be more proud to work with those guys. And same goes with Mr. Troy or Obed Ellis. It's not my cross to bear, and we are under the understanding that I will not talk about it more than I am right now. I'm not going to talk about what that is, but anybody that's interested, go to the TC Duck Club sponsor page. You can get any of these guys' information, and it takes you right to their website, and you can click on that link, and it'll take you to their website. That is a heartwarming, just gut-wrenching story, and it's a great organization that's really been present in our lives and our community.
Yeah.
So extremely blessed to work with all these fine folks and fine partners, if you will, but we really hang our hat on those guys. But thanks to all the guys that worked their tail off this past weekend, Reed, Justin, Tad, and Brad. Unbelievable. And the amount of effort that's went into it by everybody, and the amount of detail, no stones unturned. I mean, it is absolutely like being in the Mossy Oak factory. So thank you so much. You blew it out of the water. It was unreal. And thank you so much for your support from not only these folks, but all the people listening and tuning in and putting pictures and liking, sharing, and subscribing and supporting Alabama.